Hi Adam, I want to ask you a few questions about your writing. What do you like about writing?
Well, what I like most about writing is you do get better at it, and the sense of accomplishment increases the more you work at it. Sorry about the whining, that's the dog Billy over there. You get better at it, your skills get better, and you know it, and you get better reactions from readers if you share it with readers, and that's great. You see your skills develop, you see yourself develop. The creativity and freedom writing gives you, and the increased self-knowledge there. I mean, it's actually hard to put into words, and I guess that's why you write about these sorts of things. And then beyond the activity of writing, there's being the author, and to me there isn't a better feeling than walking away from a sellout book signing, having done a good day's work, and getting the odd fan mail, meeting the odd person who's really loved your book. That's a good feeling. Maybe it's my ego, but I get a kick out of that.
And I wanted to ask you, how do you go about writing a novel?
I mean, there's no correct approach to writing a novel, because if there was, everybody would use it and everybody would write a novel. There are, however, traditional approaches. I mean, in America, for example, they'll ask you to write a chapter-by-chapter breakdown, so about 5 sentences per chapter, describing what happens. And when the publishers agreed that, you then literally just write it quite mechanically. But that creates a novel that, for the reader, is a bit by the numbers, and it's a very this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. I mean, the good thing about it is it's a high tempo plot, and it's been tightly constructed, and people like that in today's world. But for me, it lacks depth. The British approach, if I'm to generalise, they still say, oh, well, send in a few chapters and tell us what the main ideas are. And if they like it, they say, yeah, well, good idea. Clearly you can write from those sample chapters, so just go ahead and write it. And then you kind of work it out as you go, And British writing is quite reflective and has depth as a consequence. And for me, British fantasy is better than American fantasy because of that approach.
Thank you. And when you're writing, are you reading and writing at the same time?
Well, I am reading other fantasy novels that are out there at the time. I do get some ideas from other books, not copying those ideas, but often when I've read something, and if I think, actually, that's not very good, I'd have done it like this. Oh, actually, that's quite a good idea. Maybe I will write something like that. I do find that, the negative or the thinking the opposite of what you're reading helps. And then in terms of reading my own stuff while I'm writing it, I don't do massive amounts of that. I don't draft and redraft. I do have a few friends and family who are reading it while I'm working on it. And yes, you have to, listen to their feedback. But at the same time, you've got to trust your own judgment, because, you can't write a book by committee. No one's going to write it for you. You have to be able to trust yourself, your core ideas yourself, so that you don't lose your authorial voice, really. So yeah, I have other people reading it, giving me feedback. In terms of my current work, Necromancer's Betrayal, which is book 2, I've only changed something or redrafted something once based on feedback from readers, and that was reluctantly, but had to be done, really. That's it.
Thank you.